All right. So where are you from?
I'm basically from Bihar. However, currently I am located in Noida.
Noida. So do you work there?
Yes,
Are you working in IT?
I am. Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been working?
It's been around 11, 12 years now.
11 years of experience. Okay. That's great. And
Yeah.
how long have you been in Clapingo?
I think it's been a while now. I suppose it'll be my 43rd session, I suppose, if I'm
43rd.
not
So I've been
mistaken.
like 2 to 3 months overall.
Yes.
That's great. So tell me, how was your overall experience then?
It's wonderful.
Okay.
I must say, yeah, I got an opportunity to speak to a number of people around, and experience have been amazing so far.
Okay, that's great. And you also must have, these international clients of yours. Like, from which countries do you have your clients from?
I work for US.
USA. Okay.
Yes,
So do you have direct communication with them every day?
absolutely. Yes, on daily
Okay.
basis.
On a daily basis. All right. That's great. And so you're from Bihar, but you live in Noida.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Great. All right. So I think you must have talked to a lot of people in Clapingo and they must have given you some advice, some, like reading, listening. So what do you do in a day to further increase your, improve your proficiency in the language? What all things do you do?
Okay. So all I do is I make sure that I watch uh, Netflix or say movies, right?
Okay.
And then read books
Mm.
and try to learn new words which I don't know. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah,
Okay. So like you also want to improve your, like enhance your vocabulary.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
And vocabulary is something which is enormous. I mean, probably if anybody or talk about anybody, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
if who's a very well-known speaker,
Mm-hmm.
like when that comes to vocabulary. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot remember the entire words that are there in dictionary, or probably every day there are new words invented. Not possible again. And if you have good command, there's always scope of learning further. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
But definitely, I think there are thousands and lakhs of words. But what you can do is you can just try to make a set of some words, like not more than like 20, 25 words are enough, I think, for a casual conversation, right?
right.
And if you want, you can learn around 50 words, which you can use repetitively in different situations, some
Correct.
advanced English formal words, right? So this is how it
Yes.
works in terms of vocabulary. And I think the best way to enhance your vocabulary is to maintain a diary. Whenever you come across a word while reading or maybe while listening, try to
Hmm.
find the meaning of the word, write down the meaning, the pronunciation, the phonic sounds, and then make two sentences each of these words. Now, when you make sentences, you're able to relate with the word. And now the moment you relate with the word, you'll be able to use it in a sentence also. It's like
Right.
it depends on practice basically, right? It's going to be a quite subconscious activity. Like, when you speak, you're not thinking consciously, it's just coming out of your mind. And it's so, but sometimes you can use vocabulary consciously, but sometimes you have to use it subconsciously also. Correct. So which book are
Correct.
you reading these days?
It's been a while now. I've not been reading any books so far. I would say I've taken a gap, probably a
Mm-hmm.
break, I would say, yeah. I've been involved in some other activities now, so probably I don't get, time to read. Though I was reading, but at this point in time, I've not been reading any book so far,
Okay.
particularly.
And if I talk about
Before that, let me ask
Netflix,
you some of the questions, right?
yeah,
I'll
for
certainly would
sure.
like to. That seems pretty interesting conversation. And before that, I would like to ask a little bit. Like, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? What you have been doing, and probably
Mhm.
working. You're just confining yourself on clapping, or what else do you do?
Definitely. So I'm a content writer by profession, and
Okay.
I take tuitions on like these sessions on Clapingo. I have a
Hmm.
thing for photography, so I'm learning photography as well.
Okay.
Okay, online classes. I'm taking some online classes, and I'm from Uttarakhand. You must
Okay.
have you heard about Nainital?
Nainital, yes, yes,
Yes, yes. I,
absolutely.
I
It's
was
not
born
that
in
far from Delhi.
absolutely, like it's like a 6 hour drive from
Correct.
Delhi, and yeah,
Correct.
probably 6 to 7. Yeah. So I think the main passion of mine is like travel photography. Basically, I also have
Mm.
an Instagram page where I post travel reels, landscape photography, specifically mountains. So this is what I do, and this is what I love to do. So I recently got a camera, and I'm learning photography these days. I really want to learn
Right.
astrophotography, like clicking stars and everything,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm quite fascinated by universe, how it works, and what all things are out there, apart from us, apart from this small, earth of ours. Like this planet is quite small when you compare it in a context of this infinite universe. So I love to read
Right.
all about all these things, and I love to capture these landscapes and everything. So this is what I do as of now. And yes, I have a thing to, to travel as much as I can, specifically, first of all, in India, because I think in our country, you will find everything: waterfalls, beaches, and mountains, like Himalayan peaks, desert also, and
Right.
forest as well. So I think we have everything one can wish for to explore, right? Different
Right.
people, different culture, languages, lifestyles. I think within like 100 or 150 kilometers, language is changing, people's lifestyle is changing, the infrastructure is changing. So I think we have a quite versatile country, quite profound. It's a profound experience to be able to travel the whole country and to have that kind of experience. I've not been to a lot of places though, but still, yes, I think I would love to cover the southern part first. I've covered almost the major places in north, but
Okay.
east and southern, I'm very fascinated by the southern part, and mostly towards the northeastern part as well. Yeah, so I make sure that before I get to a certain age, or maybe whatever it is, so I really want to travel as much as I can. So this is how I function basically.
Looks like you're very much inclined towards photography, right? And you
Absolutely.
probably this is probably what you wanted to pursue.
Absolutely.
Coming time from now. Yeah, okay. So help
Absolutely.
me understand what made you to come on Clapingo and teach people and make people understand about English.
All right. So I think, see, initially I was a really introvert. Okay. I'll tell you
Okay.
something. I never used to go out with people, but I think in COVID lockdown, I did some introspection that eventually I was not an introvert. I was not getting the proper environment actually. Okay. I
I
thought
see.
myself to be an introvert person, though I was not. I read a few
Hmm.
books on like psychology and philosophy. So I came to realize that how things work, how human body works, like human mind works to be precise. So I love to read about human behavior basically. So
Okay.
as I started meditation and all these things, so I realized I think I should be, I maybe I'm a more of an outgoing person. Even though when I'm traveling also, I have a
Hmm.
specific a group. There are like 2 to 3 friends. I travel with them only. Next month also I'm going for a trek, which is in Uttarakhand. It's a mysterious lake, Rupkund.
Okay.
You should do some research about it. There we have about 200 remains of a human. Like there are skeletons of 200 human beings in that particular lake. So I'm going to
Nice.
witness that thing. It's a
Okay.
trek for about 54 kilometers. It would definitely take us to reach around 3 days to reach till the base of the Mount Trishul. It's a peak, one of the peaks, major peaks of Himalayas. So I'm
Okay.
going there the next time. So I love to, experience these kind of things. Speaking of joining Clappingo, I think in life, the more interaction you have with people, the more you learn something out of it.
Right.
If I try to
Absolutely.
be inside a confined space, if I talk to a limited people, my wavelength, my thought process would not, it would not enhance basically. So
Hmm.
I would behave in a certain way, I would live in a certain way. But as I talk to different people, I also learn a lot of things from them, whatever it is. So I think that's why I joined this session, like this platform. I think it's really good to interact with people, teach them something, and maybe learn something from them, because I think learning is a process. I think even if you, like, if we talk about technology in IT, you can't say that I know everything, because something keeps coming up, right? You have to be
Absolutely.
updated, like machine learning is coming, AI, augmented realities, all these things. So you have to keep yourself updated. Data science, cloud, I don't know a lot, but I know a few words, because I also have a lot of IT learners. So that's why I
Okay.
think it's a overall process. So as long as you keep learning something in life, it makes your life meaningful. So that's why I joined Clappingo.
Well, that's
as a
wonderful.
tutor.
Himanshu, what I wanted to understand from you is that,
Mm,
okay, talking to somebody,
mm, mm,
in English, that's something a
mm,
different,
mm,
ball game altogether, right? But
mm,
letting people know the nuances of English and the
mm,
vocabulary and the correct
mm,
usage, and when
mm,
you talk about, the phrases and the
mm,
modal verbs and all of that, because I checked out some of the videos available
mm,
of you,
mm,
you had a conversation with listeners, right?
mm,
And
mm,
I found you talking on all these little bit of nuances about English. So
mm.
that is something which attracts my attention. Like,
Okay.
how come? Because you're I don't see your background. You're not very inclined towards learning and teaching English, nuances of all of that. You know what I mean to say, right? So
Yes, yes,
how
yes.
come that? How come you're teaching people the that's again a marvelous thing that you're doing. That's
Okay.
wonderful. I would suggest. I would say. But how
Mm.
did you get all this technicality of English? I'm
Oh,
sure very few.
technicalities. Have you watched any of my videos on YouTube?
Yes, absolutely. That is
That's
why I
why.
thought to, yeah, book a session with you, and I really found fascinating. Yeah,
Okay,
trust me.
okay. Actually, I went for this seminar in British Council, Delhi. It's in
Okay.
CP. So there was a speaker from UK, like Cambridge University. So he was telling about all the history and the pronunciation, why English is a funny language, and why it's the most beautiful language. So I was listening to him like really close. Like I thought, I used to think that it's just a medium of communication, but moreover, I think it's an ocean to explore. So I started reading a few books. I read a book by Renan Martin, one of the scholars in English, and
Yes,
it's an advanced grammar. Basically the
absolutely.
tenses are also quite typical, so I was just scratching my head throughout the process, but I somehow finished that book. That's how I know all these technicalities which people usually miss out.
So you
So when
finished
it
the Ren Martin book?
Renan Martin, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm reading another one these days. It's by Raymond Murphy, another scholar from the Cambridge University. So
Okay.
these people, they are the main people who just make rules. So the rules are not changed in English nowadays, but only the different technicalities are improvised somehow, like the Oxford comma. Like in US English, you don't. I think you don't put comma before and when you want to talk about a few things and this. So there is a
Mhm.
video on Oxford comma, and like a lot of topics are there. I think I love to read about all these things, and specifically how a word derives from a particular word and how different words are derived from that word. So I have a book, like it's a vocabulary book. I don't remember the name right now. So that book will teach you the etymology of the word, how it
Is
was
that
derived.
Norman Lewis word
Norman
make
Lewis, maybe yes, Norman Lewis, the
yeah,
red book. I
Red
have
book, the word made
somehow,
make
yeah,
easy or something like that. Yeah.
absolutely. Vocabulary made, word power made easy.
Word power made
So
easy. Yes.
absolutely,
That's
I've like read about 40% as of now. But yes,
Mhm.
for I think whenever I read that book, it makes me feel sleepy. So I don't know for what all reasons. I think that book has a lot of technicalities and a lot of, it's quite profound to read actually. So for
It
vocabulary,
is.
what I do is I listen to Shashi Tharoor. I listen to there's a speaker, Tim Ferriss, and
Okay.
Jay Shetty. Lot like these people have their own channels, their own podcasts. So I keep listening to them. Whenever they say a word which I don't know, I just
Mhm.
write it down. I find the meaning in the Cambridge University's dictionary,
Excellent.
and then I
Okay.
make sentences. I also maintain a diary. I have about 250 formal English words, which are like really rare, which are used only by native speakers in Britain, in Great Britain, like Queen's English,
Okay.
right? So I
Now I
found
got
out
you.
these
Now
kind of
I got
words
you.
also. Yeah.
Where are you coming from and what sort of exercise that you've been doing?
Yes, yes,
That's the
yes, yes.
reason you're probably helping people out on technicality
Yeah,
of English.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
really wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I love to do that. And whenever I teach someone something, maybe a small thing, maybe it would change their life in some way, like in a better way. They would not repeat that mistake, and they would try to improvise it and minimize their, mistakes. So I think making a mistake, committing a mistake is not a big thing as long as you're learning from it. It's completely fine. So this is how I think I see English as more of a, not just a language. I think it's more than that. I think it is a lot to explore, and I'll have made sure that I'll keep exploring it. I have about 10 to 15 applications in my mobile phone regarding GRE exams, IELTS
Okay.
exams, TOEFL exams, TESOL exams, CELTA,
Did you
lots
take
of.
all those exams?
No, no, no. I'm going to take CELTA like next year.
Selta. Okay.
Yeah, it's a like a certification to teach adults.
Teach
I'll be
English.
teaching adults English, like, from the scratch. So I'm planning to move to a different country and teach non-native speakers, maybe Korea, Japan, or maybe some countries like that. Maybe let's see how
Actually,
it
if you
goes.
is it not possible to teach from here itself? Like, I mean, they basically prefer people who've got all those certifications, and
Yeah.
only then you'll be able to. And they prefer, uh, the teachers from different countries, not from India, I believe. The Indians are not preferring all those applications. Even if you apply for them, you probably
Mm.
won't be able to get this, classes and
Mhm.
all. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, but let's see. I'll just go to British Council and I'll have a word with the faculty because they
Okay.
would know better. And the course, which is the CELTA course, is also arranged by the British Council only, which is in
Okay.
Delhi, and it's in Mumbai also. For me, Delhi would be the closest because I stay in Delhi, but I live in
Mhm.
Nainital. That's my hometown, actually.
I see.
So the thing is that in 2016, I appeared for a BPO interview in Gurgaon. I was not
Okay.
able to clear it because of my communication. So I felt so hard. It was a heart wrenching experience that I was not able to clear a BPO interview. And like, what
Okay.
am I going to do in my life? So I started reading a lot of books. I started consuming a lot of